welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Beth Chiasson. And I'm getting used to saying your last name because just like you, both of us, we've been married maybe like close to 2 years, right? And still try to get that new name going. But Beth Chiasson, who is the president of St. Mary Chamber of Commerce. And I'm so excited because we're going into a new year. I think everybody gets excited around this time of year. But let's talk about what are some plans for 2024 with regards to the chamber.
We're in full swing of pre-planning. Of course, we're in the heat of planning for our banquet, which is in January. We're working on that. Pre-planning for our general things that we usually do, like luncheons. I am planning on quarterly lunch and learns. I'm hopeful for that this year. We had one very successful last year, and I hope to build on that.
Let's take one thing at a time, right?
Okay.
So let's talk about the banquet. So I will tell you this. I love meeting new people, and I would love to see more new faces. Now, who's invited to the banquet? Because I will tell you, some folks say, oh, it's fancy schmancy. Is it for me? Am I allowed to be at the banquet?
Yeah, absolutely. The banquet's actually, it's open to the public. Of course, you do have to purchase a ticket to be there. There's a member price and a non-member price, but it is open to anyone. We do have a set number of tickets. Our limit is 350. We have less than 100 tickets left available. They went quicker this year than we expected them to, but it's great. Yes. We honor the Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Citizen of the Year, Ambassador of the Year, Nonprofit of the Year. All of those categories are nominated by the public, voted on by our board, and then they get an award that night. And it's actually for the previous year, so they're the 2023 Business of the Year we're honoring. Gotcha. They'll be there. We're showcasing and honoring them. Of course, all of our sponsors that we get for the event get special recognition. We're kind of reformatting it this year to where there is more networking and cocktail hour beforehand, from 5:30 really until 7.
You're saying pretty much there's more drinking.
There's more drinking. There's
the
music.
Cocktail hour is such a nice word to say, but no, no. And you mentioned all these different categories because that can kind of lead up to a lot of time. But again, you're looking forward to some new changes that's going to take place.
We're working with Garisco Marketing, who's one of our members, and he'll be helping us create videos for the honorees. That will be showcasing. The banquet is at Bayou Bend, so if you haven't seen it, they have a huge screen in the center of the room as well as smaller screens around the room, but we'll be able to showcase the videos he creates of the awardees, showcasing their business, talking about it, what they do, so people really get a deep dive, and then we'll also be able to share those videos on social media and kind of help people understand why they were chosen, why they were selected or nominated.
Right. I definitely want to get to more about what the new changes are in the new year, but you mentioned, Chamber is so business heavy, it's business focused. What do businesses want? I mean, do you talk to business owners, to small business corporations and say, hey, what do you want to see from the chamber?
Yeah, and it's different depending on the size of the business. A lot of our larger businesses, their biggest need right now is workforce, which we've seen across the nation, the state, So I'm looking into the possibility of job fairs and things like that. Okay. Partnering with places like SLCC or the Workforce Commission and really making people aware of what's available in our area and inviting our members to showcase what they have to offer, that kind of thing, and as well as SLCC, graduating students. For instance, we just went to the Workboat Show in New Orleans, which is an international show, and we partnered with a couple entities, and we're able to really showcase the diving school at SLCC, which is one of the best in the country and the cheapest. Yeah. And it's a gym. It's an unknown gym in our area. So we were able to really showcase them at the Workboat Show. I would love for them to be able to set up something to be able to showcase that to high school seniors or juniors graduating.
And I know this may be a little elementary, but let's take it down for, especially for our laymen who are listening right now. You think about Chamber of Commerce, I just mentioned small business, corporations, but that means even the mom and pop, if you don't have a business brick and mortar, this is for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of our events are geared towards networking. which is what a lot of businesses like. They want to get their name out there. They want to make connections and partnerships across the parish, even reaching outside of the parish. Sometimes we have people from Houma and Thibodaux come, and we partner with the Bayou Chambers on several things. So they're looking for that networking opportunity, advertisement, just being part of something bigger and getting their name out there.
Gotcha. Well, thank you. That's only one down, three to go, and we're going to hit all the important parts of the chamber so that you're more aware and more educated about what goes on in this parish as well as with the Chamber of Commerce. So come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back. Again, my guest is President of St. Mary Chamber of Commerce, Beth Chiasson. Let's get right back into it. So again, let's talk about some of the new additions that you want for 2024. You mentioned Lunch and Learns. Explain what they are and what's coming up.
So Lunch and Learns are an educational opportunity on a brief time frame. It happens at lunch, why it's called Lunch and Learn. So it's roughly an hour. You pay a fee, you get to attend the class. The last one we hosted was at SLCC in one of their classrooms, which was a great opportunity. We were able to offer a Zoom price. If people couldn't be there in person, they could pay to be a part of the Zoom. And we provide lunch as part of it because it is on your lunch hours when it takes place. So we will have to gear subjects that we believe we can cover in that time frame. Last year we did have one successful that we were able to host, and it was a Facebook deep dive somewhat.
Right.
And honestly, there wasn't enough time to go over everything that is the Facebook algorithm. But the people that were there did really enjoy it and take away some key points.
I mean, it's kind of just an abbreviated educational seminar that you get on your lunchtime, and you are also given a meal, a lunch, right? So it takes care of checks all the boxes. So good, kudos to that. What are some of the topics that people are because I know you put out a survey, per se, to see what people thought. What were their thoughts on that?
There were several different topics that people want covered, more than 4 for sure. So we have things to go on for the future. But a lot of small businesses in the area have questions about taxes. So that'll probably be one more towards the end of the year in preparation for next year to be able to help them. We'll partner with the St. Mary Parish Tax Office for that. We plan to partner with our member banks and offer information for business loans, small business loans, just what the banks really have to offer and what the qualifications are for those kind of things. And it opens the door to the banks will be able to come and speak on behalf of the bank in a whole, but then it opens the door for the business owners or people who are interested in possibly opening a business to go to them after the Lunch and Learn.
How often do you plan to put these on?
I'm hoping quarterly for this year, and if we see success and it's not too much added to our plate, maybe increase in the future, but at least quarterly this year.
You're right, because adding a lot more to your plate, because now we're going to talk about luncheons. And that takes place just as often, if not more.
We have 10 luncheons a year. We skip January. Actually, we have 9, I'm sorry. We skip January, November, and December. Those months are just busy with other things going on. So I do have those underway in planning. I only have 2 dates actually open left to fill, but we do have our generals that we try to cover every year. We know we're going to have an update. I call it a state of the parish because each municipality gets the opportunity to give an update on their own area. So we'll have that again. We have a lot of newbies coming in that were voted in this last election season. So we'll have a new parish president, a new senator coming in. So we'll be meeting with them and giving them the opportunity to address our membership and the public.
And let's really hearken on hopefully having the insurance commissioner.
That is one, yes.
You want to be at that one.
That's one that we're actually hoping to partner with the Bayou Chambers for. So that's in connection with St. Mary Parish Chamber of Commerce, Houma, Thibodaux, and Lafourche Parish. And we've partnered with them in the past. We've had Senator Kennedy was a big one that we had last year, but we partner together. We host usually at Cypress Columns in Shreveport because it's big enough to host the 4 entities. We each get so many tickets that we're allowed to have over there, and it's usually a great turnout. It's harder for our members to make it to that end, but we like to offer the opportunity, especially if it's a bigger speaker. And some of those bigger speakers, we have to have more attendance to be able to get them to make the commitment.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're definitely going to talk a little bit more about the luncheons because I'd like to know just how successful are they, especially with the locations. They're held in, hey, it's the truth. We have an East End and we have a West End. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back. Let's get right into it. Beth Chiasson, we're talking a lot about the luncheons, and one thing that has been implemented, I think since you've been in office, a little more because it was happening. We were going from East End to West End, but there's a little more West End participation. And when I say that, doesn't mean that none of the business are participating, but just where the luncheons are being held, and that is at the Forest and versus at the Petroleum Club, and that is to kind of help the business owners and business leaders who want to attend, but make it a little more convenient for it.
Yeah, we try to be fair. Host some on this end of the parish, some on that end of the parish, so businesses on that end that might not have the extra time to make it to Morgan City can make it to the luncheons over there. We always host Dr. Strain, who's the agricultural commissioner in Franklin, because that's our real agricultural area. So a lot of the times the sugarcane farmers and the sugar mills are there and want to be supportive of that, so we make sure that one is in Franklin.
Now, what about Patterson? I mean, that's kind of middle of the parish. What about hosting something there?
It's a possibility. We host our education banquet there. That way it's, like you said, centrally located. We do try to kind of hop around the parish with our events to make it fair to everybody, give everyone the opportunity to be represented and have easier access to get there.
Okay, so let's talk now fundraisers, because of course that's how you're funded, and you have to have fundraisers. Again, something new for 2024. Please lay it out for us because this is pretty interesting.
Yeah. So a lot of people actually think that we are parish funded, and we are not. We are a nonprofit, but I always tell people we're not the good kind of nonprofit. We're a nonprofit, but we're not the kind that's tax exempt and all of that.
Right.
So our funds basically come from membership and fundraisers. So the different events that we host and things like that. I do have 2 that I'm hoping to implement this year. One I won't go into detail about because it's still very up in the air, trying to figure out if we have a location that would work for it. And the other is a sunset soiree. So it's a dinner or heavy hors d'oeuvres, wine tasting, music, set on the water somewhere. We're a water-heavy parish, so it'll be able to move around the parish year after year in a different location. And I'm kind of working out the details if we're going to showcase some local chefs in the works and partner with the Nichols Culinary Institute.
It works in bigger cities like New Orleans. I think it's in Blanc maybe, or is other big cities that do that. So would it be in white? Would it be, or is it during the summertime, springtime, fall?
That's what we're working out.
Okay.
That's a hard thing in this area, especially on the waterfront. We got to watch those water levels, and then of course, come fall, football season, other events taking place on Saturdays, and we got to try to plan around the mosquitoes.
Oh, no, definitely number one. I mean, it's December, folks, and I'm still feeling them. I don't know how to get rid of them, and it's cold. You would think that it's cold, but my husband says they're wearing jackets, so you just gotta go for it, But I think that sounds like a great idea. To host something like that, and especially bringing in Nichols. So that's great too. You might bring in some people from Nichols or from Thibodeau and Homa. Education banquet, which is another big fundraiser for you, but it also showcased our students and our teachers.
Yes. Education banquet is an annual event. It takes place in June. Generally, we host it in Patterson at the Civic Center. We have our auction and silent auction for that evening, which is how we raise funds for our scholarship. We give 9 scholarships every year, one to each high school, a senior from each high school in the parish, and then one to SLCC as well. We are hoping to reformat our scholarship program. I have a committee that'll be working on that to where it prioritizes students that are planning to attend SLCC, in the hope of keeping them in the parish and home.
Yes. I mean, incentivizes them definitely, because I mean, when you think about some of these scholarships, it's for the 4-year universities, but SLCC is cranking them out. And you have not just the, I guess, older adults who are taking advantage of it, because there's also scholarships for them, but also for our students who are planning to maybe go the 2+2. I think it's a great idea. Wish I had done it. But we'll talk a little bit more about what's ahead for Chamber of Commerce, St. Mary's Parish Chamber of Commerce. Come on back. Welcome back, and let's get right back into it because we don't have much time left. Again, my guest is President of St. Mary Chamber of Commerce, Beth Chiasson. So, Leadership St. Mary, we got talking about the scholarships, but let's talk about this past Leadership St. Mary. Not a lot of people graduating, but I will tell you, they packed a punch. I went to the graduation, and it was really nice to see and be a part of.
It was a great class, the smaller class. Generally in years past, there was always a strive to hit that 20 mark, because there's a certain thing you can do to build leadership with a group of that size. But I think there's benefits to a smaller class too, the intimacy. And they got to do things in this class that bigger classes wouldn't have gotten to do, like we got to take one van around the parish. We didn't have to rent a bus or multiple vans. They got to board the boats with the port and see the infrastructure on the waterways and go to the Bayou Chene, and that's not something that we would be able to do with a bigger class. So they got the benefits of it, but they're a great small class. They're going to do some big things.
Why is Leadership St. Mary so important? I could definitely speak on it. I'm a graduate of Leadership St. Mary. What's the benefit?
It's building leaders and entrepreneurs, not necessarily people who are opening their own business, but people who are invested and interested in making our parish the best it can be.
Yeah. I think that also, I mean, it might be a long shot here, but when it comes to electing officials, knowing what issues are at stake, what's important, what are we missing? Because I will tell you, a lot of times folks are, sorry y'all a little clueless. You don't know what's going on, but Leadership St. Mary will open up your eyes to so much going on behind the scenes. So I really do, I'm kind of speaking and telling, why you should do it when I should be asking you that. But I am a graduate, and I definitely can tout that program is, it's a great program.
Yeah, you get that deep dive behind the scenes of what's going on. And we made sure this past year to really implement not just the highlight reel, but to be able to have those harder conversations and ask business owners and law enforcement and, different entities what it is that they need and how could the class possibly help? Because their goal at the end of the year is to produce some kind of project that will benefit the parish in some way.
And let's go right into that project that they have decided. I think it's great.
Yeah, this year's class, we lost one of our classmates in November, Miss Mary Rios. She was the head nursing officer at Bayou Bend Health System. Unexpectedly, she passed away in late November. So she wasn't able to graduate even though she completed the program, and the class made a quick change that last month and has elected to start a scholarship fund in her name for students that are looking for some kind of medical profession.
I think it's great, and I think it's definitely possible. And the senator-elect actually spoke on behalf and said that he, I believe, is going to donate.
Yes, he plans to donate to them, and he also plans to have a leadership spot in Miss Mary's name every year.
Oh, awesome.
So he'll essentially give a scholarship for someone to go through Leadership St. Mary, and it'll be in honor of Miss Mary.
Yeah. And if you want to inquire about anything that we've talked about, please give them a call, and your number for folks.
It's 985-384-3830.
Awesome. Let's talk about American Pickers, and we'll go out on this note. American Pickers is a show that's held on, is it the
It's History Channel.
American Pickers they're looking for your best junk. So if you know somebody in your family and they are collectors of junk, good junk, or maybe junk that they're not sure if it's good, maybe it's good, they're looking for you. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so a producer of the show has reached out to us to kind of help spread the word. This will be their second trip to the area, to the parish. They'll be coming in February, so they are looking for places to visit, to dig through. They don't like stores, they don't like flea markets. They're looking for more warehouses, barns that are full of the rusty and the crusty and the really old,
Right.
especially if that is owned by someone who has a good backstory and is a character and, you know, makes for good television. So
Let me go through my little stuff and let me work on my accent. I'm just playing. No, if you have a good story, I think it's great. So having the History Channel here is great. Thank you very much for giving us an update. So you have it all here. Look for more coming from Chamber of Commerce in 2024. See you guys next time. Take care.